Jam-packed show for you today. Thank you for joining me. Your man Diamond K in here, RadioFire.com, thediamondkshow.com. And we talk to America through digital news broadcasts and social media content. We are a rising multimedia platform generating over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month through our audio and video streams, from politics, breaking news, celebrity info, sports talk, pop culture, and so much more. Radio on Fire keeps our audience covered. So, as I said, glad that you could join us. The president, Donald Trump, no peaceful transfer of power. That's what, and he's hinted at things like this in the past. Talking about Donald Trump, he has hinted at things like this. But threats should be taken seriously, especially when they are coming from the president of the United States. If you hear someone say something, and it was Maya Angelou that said, when someone tells you who they are, believe them, right? Listen to these words made yesterday by the president.
Win, lose, or draw in this election, will you commit here today for a peaceful transferal of power after the election? And there has been rioting in Louisville. There's been rioting in many cities across this country, red and your so-called red and blue states. Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
I understand that, but people are rioting. Do you commit to making sure that there's a peaceful transferal of power?
We want to get rid of the ballots, and we'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly. There'll be a continuation. The ballots are out of control. You know it. And you know who knows it better than anybody else? The Democrats know it better than anybody else. Go ahead.
Mr. President, the second question is, will you...
Please, go ahead.
Why won't you...
He's not even pretending. Trump is not even pretending to be president. He has completed this shift to being a dictator. Many Americans don't understand how close we are to losing what's left of this democracy. It's up to us, people that know better, to educate the other ones who are lacking in this understanding and urge them to vote to save this country. When Trump openly refuses to accept the results of the upcoming election and says that his administration is going to throw out mail-in ballots, we're living under a dictator. He has to be removed. The president completely screwed up in the response to COVID-19. And because of that, many people are not able, because of the pandemic that he screwed up, to go to the polls with confidence because of their safety. And he wants to throw out the mail-in ballots. Our democracy is not in danger because Trump is a wannabe dictator. It's in danger because after all of his criminal acts, after his racist remarks, after his constant lying to the American people, his horrid comments about the military, and his ineptitude to face the pandemic that has killed over 200,000 Americans and counting. The danger is that even after all of that, somehow this election is still close. Frederick Douglass said that, but desperation discards logic as well as law. and the South was desperate. These words by the great Frederick Douglass hit differently the day after Trump promised that he would violate the law in order to complete his transformation from president who lost the popular vote to dictator. The stakes cannot be any higher. We need all Democrats, all independents, all Republicans who truly value the future of this country to do what onlookers shouted at Trump today. Vote him out. Take a look at this clip. That's the president. That is the president. He was earlier today at a public viewing, paying respects to the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RBG, at the Supreme Court. The response from the crowd said it all. First, they booed him, and he has earned those boos. And vote him out. Vote him out. We cannot sit here in silence while Trump threatens to throw out ballots. He has clearly telegraphed his intention, and he means this country no good. No good. Overwhelming landslide numbers on election day will help vote him out and prevent Trump from completely dismantling our democracy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Lot to get to, lot more coming up. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the show after this.
Oh, my nigga Diamond K on the check-in. Salute Diamond K, radioonfire.com. Let me check on his site. Hold on a second. That's my homie from Be More.
You are now streaming worldwide on radioonfire.com and the Radio on Fire app.
Diamond K, are you moving to the ATL? I know you were talking about that, man, before the pandemic.
Giving you more talk, more news, and more music. It's Radio on Fire.
Okay, there you go. RadioOnFire.com. That's the homie, Diamond K.
Thank you for listening to Radio on Fire.
I see High Roller Records, Jay Jackson Live, The Diamond K Show, of course. Yeah, folks, make sure you check out my homie, RadioOnFire.com. That's Diamond K.
Follow us on all social media at Radio on Fire.
So we talked about it yesterday, and the terrible decision that came down as it relates to Breonna Taylor, it has been something that people have been waiting for since March. No surprise there, but it's still anger, protests have continued. 2 Louisville officers shot amid the protests in Kentucky. Hours after the grand jury brought no charges against the police officers who murdered Breonna Taylor. Protesters took to the streets, and authorities say that 2 officers were shot and wounded last night during the demonstrations, expressing the justified anger over the killings of not only Breonna Taylor, but Black people at the hands of the police across this country. So someone has been taken into custody. Someone is being charged. But this violence comes after prosecutors say that the 2 officers who fired their weapons at Taylor, who was in her home, were justified in their use of force. They were forced to protect themselves after they came into her house late at night. So it's amazing to me that self-defense does not kick in until the officers were fired upon. These officers weren't sitting in their cars, just chilling, and Breonna Taylor's boyfriend fired upon them. These officers executed a no-knock warrant, kicked in the door, and then got shot at naturally because they came into the property of Breonna Taylor. But crazily, this grand jury, who of course with decisions like this, no wonder they want to be secret. But the FBI is still investigating potential violations of federal law in connection with the raid at her home that took place March the 13th. I would not get my hopes up for the feds finding anything. What's so peculiar is that how can you be justified on state level but violate federal laws? Come on now. It is clear why this payout came, $12 million payout came. Ben Crump, lawyer for the Taylor family, of course, denouncing the decision as outrageous and offensive. Scuffles broke out between police and protesters. Some people arrested after this. Officers fired those flashbangs, and some small fires burned. But largely it was cleared out last night ahead of the curfew. Demonstrators marched through other parts of downtown Louisville, and patrol cars blocking some of the streets. But not only there, in Philly and here in Atlanta, DC, Chicago, New York, people marched. And Taylor was an emergency medical worker who had no record, shot multiple times by these white officers who entered her home during what they call a narcotics investigation. This token attorney general, Daniel Cameron, said that while the officers had a no-knock warrant, the investigation showed they announced themselves before entering. The warrant used to search her home was connected to a suspect who did not live there. Also, this narcotics investigation, no drugs were found inside. It is just something that continues to happen. Continues to happen. Just tuning in, it's Diamond K, radioonfire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. And of course, you can advertise with Radio on Fire. Connect your message with our engaged audience of over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month. We are listener supported internet talk radio and podcast network, streaming from our production facilities in Baltimore and Atlanta. And we're able to broadcast free programs because of our listeners and amazing sponsors. Sponsors like D Lifestyle Secrets. Are you a baby boomer? Translation, were you born between 1946 and 1964? Well, more than 71 million Americans are baby boomers. And as you continue to get older, baby boomers want to stay mobile and experience as few aches and pains as possible. DLifestyleSecrets.com helps you do just that. D Lifestyle Secrets provides a blueprint to reduce and or eliminate joint pain by teaching members to communicate naturally with their bodies. Created by 70-year-old Dwight Williams, D Lifestyle Secrets gives baby boomers step-by-step videos, natural recipes, and most importantly, the motivation to re-energize themselves naturally. Visit DLifestyleSecrets.com to join this active community of baby boomers. So, as you have Louisville dealing with the results of yet another officer-involved murder of an unarmed citizen, because Breonna Taylor shot. She was the only person there that did not have a gun. Shot, killed, justified. And then in the White House, we have someone consistently pushing conspiracy theories, trying to get help from foreign governments. I mean, the list goes on and on. Donald Trump pushing conspiracy theories. A conspirator in chief. We must vote him out. We must vote him out. Example of Trump.
It's called QAnon, a fringe conspiracy theory.
QAnon's grown so fast, supporters are linked to acts of violence.
Murder at Staten Island. The suspected killer
Was obsessed with the QAnon conspiracy theory. The FBI has ID'd QAnon as a domestic terror threat.
What's gone from an underground, almost cult-like group has now entered the mainstream of American politics.
Trump's retweeting QAnon dozens of times.
Trump retweeted a baseless conspiracy theory to nearly 63 million Twitter followers.
The president shared a conspiracy theory about Martin Gugino, the 75-year-old protester seen on video falling to the ground after being shoved by two officers. Trump tweeted Gugino could be an Antifa provocateur.
The president of the United States is refusing to disavow conspiracy theorists.
I understand they like me very much, and I've heard these are people that love our country.
The crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals.
Is that supposed to be a bad thing? So I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there.
This is what we have to deal with. This is what America is trying to overcome. So, coming up is the debate. Joe Biden is going to debate with this bully, this wannabe dictator, Donald Trump. Joe Biden should very simply state what's true and what most Americans believe about this president. A bully, yes. I don't think that he's going to be a good debater. He's going to try to yell and scream and talk over him. Biden says that he is used to dealing with bullies. We've heard him say that over and over again. He's going to probably talk about Biden's kids. He's going to talk about China. I mean, we pretty much know what he's going to say. The challenge for Joe Biden is that he's not only going to be debating just a bully on this stage on Tuesday in Cleveland, by the way. He's going to be facing a man who is shameless, who knows no boundaries, who is without conscience, has shattered all norms, is a liar of epic proportions, and a conspiracy monger who lives in some type of an alternative reality. Trump operates outside of any normal parameters. If somebody's not used to dealing with a person like that, it can be utterly frustrating. Utterly frustrating. A little bit disorienting. I think that Hillary Clinton was a bit disoriented when she had to debate him in 2016. I mean, of course, she knew the facts, but Trump is not going to ever come with facts. Hillary Clinton talked about the stage being very small. And that second debate, no matter where she walked, she said that he followed her and was closely staring at her, making faces. She said it made her feel uncomfortable. I don't know if he's going to be able to do the same thing with Joe Biden. I guess, he can play a different type of a card with regards to debating a woman versus debating a guy. But he was able to really intimidate. If you look at how he did Jeb Bush, intimidated him. But Joe Biden, I hope, has prepared for this debate. But it can't be rehearsed. He has to be willing to spar. Both guys not operating, of course, at their peak, right? Both of these politicians are well past the sell-by date. But one is a total lunatic. One doesn't care about anything. One, I'm talking about Trump. Trump doesn't even care about his MAGA supporters. No, he doesn't care about them. If he cared about you guys and gals, the MAGA crew, if he cared about y'all, he wouldn't be telling you not to wear a mask. He wouldn't be trying to push a rushed vaccine. He wouldn't have told you to take bleach and inject yourself with bleach and push in hydroxychloroquine and all of the other stupid stuff that he says. If he cared about you, he doesn't care about you. And the main people that are hurt by his lack of and utter disregard for the safety of not only his supporters but other Americans, the main people hurt are his supporters. That's how little he cares about you guys and girls, you MAGA crew. Right? Years ago, Trump lied about the size of Trump Towers, claiming that he lived on the 66th to 68th floor. Here's the thing. Trump Tower has only 58 floors. He even lied about that. I mean, Trump lies about everything. He's lied about the heights of several buildings, including Trump World Tower, which he claimed had 90 floors. In fact, it just has 70 floors. I mean, Trump lies and lies. And of course, MAGA supporters are going to say, oh, I don't know what you're going to say, but they find something to say, the MAGA supporters. I am making a plea to, as I said, Democrats, independents, Republicans who value this country. You know that Trump is the wrong person for this job. He is in over his head. He is not mentally capable. He is not morally capable of running this country. We're like teeter-tottering on the edge. You know it. I'm talking to Republicans. You know it because Democrats already know. Independents, I'm talking to you as well. You know that Trump is not qualified to do this. He is not qualified. He is a damaged individual. Some people may pity him, feel sorry for him, not me. I don't. If you look at the economy, you look at the schools, the fact that the kids are mostly home schooling. If you remember, Trump wanted people to go back before Easter. Remember that? He doesn't care about us. When you look at restaurants, businesses that people have seen for years and years that are closing, small stores that you thought were going to make it, closing. You may ask yourself, what is happening? The answer is that Donald Trump is what is happening to America. Donald Trump is what's happening to this country. And Biden is not a perfect candidate by no stretch. But he is the only person who can keep Trump into a single-term president and stop this ongoing American carnage. Trump is the what's standing in between where we are right now and oblivion, right? And Joe Biden is there to push him over the edge. We really need Trump out of the White House. Out of the White House. I have many conservative friends, many progressive liberal friends, many independent friends, and even my conservative friends who liked the judges that Trump has been able to get on the bench. Even they know that it's time. We have to put this country ahead of politics and ahead of party and do what is right. There will not be a country left at this rate. 200,000, over 200,000 Americans gone. And we are at the cusp of what they have been talking about, a second wave. We're at the cusp of that. Flu season. All of this. We're in the fall. Summer is over. Spring is over. We're in the fall, heading to the winter. The iceberg is ahead. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So, of course, you just tuning in. It's the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. Many other things that I want to touch on. In Maryland, school systems can begin sports October the 7th, according to Governor Larry Hogan. He says that the local systems in Maryland are going to be able to start sports. Formal fall sports season practices can start on the 7th in preparation for the competitive season beginning on October the 27th. So they're moving ahead with fall sports. And the decision by the state schools superintendent was reached after recent discussions with the education board and Maryland's 24 local school system superintendents. So that's going to go down. Statewide health metrics and guidance by the Maryland Department of Health were also considered. And so far in Maryland, 11 local school systems have announced plans to bring students back to campuses for in-person athletics this fall. They are Allegheny, Anne Arundel, Calvert, Carroll, Charles, Cecil, Frederick, Garrett, St. Mary's, Washington, and Worcester counties. So all of that in Maryland, fall sports. So let me know, do you think that it's time for the fall sports? Are you letting your child participate in fall sports? I'd like to know. Hit me up on social media at The Diamond K Show. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with more of the program after this.
Sure. I mean, I think first and foremost, at least in the old days, American conservatism used to really line up with institutionalism, that we cared about how government worked. I think there was also a real piece of, the idea that the federal government did not overreach. There was a constrained power. We have seen that for Donald Trump, this is not at all a tenet he ascribes to. And so I think from the conservative perspective also is that, if you're going to if you truly believe that the government is ultimately made up of the people, and you have previously said that as conservatives we should let the voters choose, then that should not have changed in 4 years just because the president has. And so, again, I think I would say it's a stunning level of hypocrisy, but it's really not stunning. I mean, the fact that you took someone like Mitch McConnell, who, it was in its crassness and lack of decorum, waited an hour after Justice Ginsburg's death had been announced to say he was going to give a nominee a vote. I mean, it's fundamentally unkind. It's fundamentally un-American, and it's just not what the country needs right now. The country needs wise leaders who, when understanding what it means to take a step like this, take the longer view, take the step back and say, we're 44 days from an election. As you said, but the election has begun. This is not going to happen before an election. It's happening during an election. And from my perspective, that's a fundamentally unconservative thing to do. But the American conservatives today are really Trump in name only. I mean, that's who they are. They whatever the tenets they used to ascribe to, whether or not that was, again, limited federal government, personal liberty, fiscal conservatism, a moral and muscular foreign policy, those are all gone. It's now whatever Donald Trump wants, whatever Mitch McConnell wants, that's what they're going to go for.
So earlier today, it happened yesterday as well, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was lying in remorse. And he was talking about the hypocrisy of pushing the Supreme Court pick through. They're saying that Trump's going to have this announcement of who his selection is going to be. He's probably going to be a woman on Saturday. And he ultimately wants to get this person through because he's going to try to challenge the results of the election and hope that the Supreme Court picks with the conservative leaning picks are going to vote in his favor. That's what he is hoping. That's what he's hoping. We're going to have to see about that. I'm anxious to see who his selection is. And if voters make the Republicans who are enabling Trump, if they're going to hold them accountable at the ballot box. Some stuff that I'm checking for. Another story in Maryland, and there's no surprise here with this one as well. So the president of the Restaurant Association of Maryland still has concerns about capacity. He still has concerns after the capacity increase. So recently it was announced that restaurants in Maryland could go to the capacity of 75%. But Marshall Weston, who is the president of the Restaurant Association of Maryland, he's not satisfied with that. He says it doesn't fully help restaurants while 6-foot guidelines are still in effect. He wants no 6-foot guidelines. He wants everything back to normal in restaurants. I got a newsflash for him. People still ain't going to come out like that. They're still not going to be quick to want to get up in people's face like we used to. You know how restaurants try to cram people all together, you know? Right now, they got a every other table kind of thing going on. So I don't think this is a good idea. He gave you 75%. You should be happy with that, Marshall Weston and the Restaurant Association. When you say it's not fully helping restaurants, everybody is not being fully benefited by this. We have to make some adjustments, tighten the belt a little bit. But it doesn't make sense to me to open things up 100% in restaurants. If everybody is dead, there's going to be nobody to go to the restaurant. So we got to exercise some caution. So it was 25%, it was 50%, now it's 75%. Be happy with that. Some businesses are gone altogether. But Marshall Weston, I wonder how many restaurants he has investment in. It's probably a lot. This is really about money. It's really about money. It's never about the safety of people. So many restaurants are still under 50% capacity because here's the thing. A lot of people are not going to be quick. Even employees not quick to put themselves in situations. People are still succumbing to this virus. I got to keep reminding people of that because sometimes they forget because they tired of the virus because I got virus fatigue. That means it's over with. You can't turn the virus off. You can't tell the virus when it's done. The virus is holding all of the proverbial cards. The virus is doing that. We don't have any control over that. So I don't know. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, that is, and I hate talking about him. I really do. And I really hate talking about Kanye West. But Kanye West has been consistently on Twitter running his mouth. On Twitter, running his mouth. He's talking about this. He's talking about that. And he's just spitting out stuff. And so I tweeted at him earlier. He did not respond, and I don't expect him to. But I mean, you hear him talking about, he's been talking about the recording industry, talking about artist contracts and the such, and that's fine. I mean, considering that he's complaining about being signed to Universal, he's had artists signed to him as well. And he's going to, quote unquote, give them their masters back. He probably doesn't own the masters. I mean, Kanye clearly not playing with a full deck. But some people seem to give him credence and think that if he speaks on a topic of something that relates to him or relates to them, that he's making sense, right? Kanye's making no sense. Okay. He's making no sense. He's just saying stuff. Yesterday, he said that he's not releasing nothing on Gap until he's on the board. He said that he's not releasing nothing on Gap until he's on the board. Kanye West said this. Additionally, he said that, and I'm talking about Kanye West, he said that he's wearing Jordans until he's on the board of Adidas. Okay. Why is it that he thinks in his infinite wisdom or infinite stupidity, take your pick, he thinks that saying and doing craziness is going to make these companies give in to him? What makes him worthy of being on the board of anything. And because he's been creative and put out some music or came out with some designs, that doesn't make him worthy of being on the board of these companies, right? And who would give in to the ranting of a child? Because that's what he's acting like, a child. Like, why would he think that anybody would do that? And then I see these people on here co-signing. Yeah, they should put you on the board. No, they shouldn't. He's not worthy of being on a board of nothing. The board of nothing, right? So you can see Kanye said that. And so that's the tweet about not releasing anything on Gap till he's on the board. You haven't sold anything on Gap, but you feel as though you should be on the board of Gap, right? And you know, some people just giving in to his foolishness. See, this person says, "Who is keeping you off and why?" And I like this one. Kanye, no one effing cares about Gap. Breonna Taylor deserves justice. This is enough. This type of stuff is the reason why Kanye keeps going with this. This man started from the bottom and now he's fighting to get to the top. That's not how you get to the top. Another one. Why are you yelling? He always yells. He always yells. And he always sounds foolish. Always sounds foolish. Here's my thing, Kanye. Instead of begging and pleading for Adidas or the Gap to put you on the boards of their companies, why don't you create your own company that does not need them? Oh, wait. I know why. Because you're only successful. Everything he's successful at is because someone else propped him up. Somebody else propped him up. You went to Rockefeller so they could put you on. You went to the Gap or Adidas. You wanted to get put on. He just wants to get put on, right? He can't really do it himself. Create your own thing, Kanye. So I hate that people are giving him cosigns, rethinking the music industry. Kanye West is not in any position to rethink the music industry. No one's taking him serious. For 1 week, he has attempted to wage a one-man war against the music industry. Keep in mind, he's under contract. This would make more sense if you were on the other side of your contract and had fulfilled that obligation and you were out of the contract, right? He's not going to buy himself out of the contract. He's just talking to be talking. I thought you were running for president, right? He's just talking to be talking. And he needs to be put away somewhere, right? He types in all caps like some kind of lunatic. And being truly independent, that may help him. But can you imagine a corporation run by somebody as unable to focus as Kanye West? Can you imagine working for that company? I can't. Really weird. Really weird. But such is life. Kanye West such is life. Definitely. When we come back, I'm going to play the song of the day, new segment that we're starting here, where I will feature an artist, play a song from the artist, which will be the song of the day, a video from the artist, and in some instances, actually talk to the artist. I don't think that's going to happen today as far as talking to the artist, but we are going to be playing their music and talking a little bit about this artist when we come back. You listen to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. Stay tuned. We're going to do the song of the day after this. And we are back. Your man Diamond K in here, radioonfire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. And you can send me music, djdiamondk@gmail.com. That is the best way. So I'm going to get into the song of the day. And the song of the day, of course, is a new segment that we're starting. Today's song of the day. Let's get this on the screen. All right. So song of the day. Boom. There it is. It is by an artist called Alex J. And let's get into that.
Super producer Sterling. Anarchy.
Crazy, 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 crazy. Loving you can be hard to do, yes, it's true, but I knew because you want me to. Swear I won't give up on your flaws, that's the law. If I do, don't give your heart, cause I won't deserve it. It's like you love to fuss every day, always throwing stuff at me, always breaking up. Then you come back and we make up. Oh, I promise that I'll deal with you, stay with the hurt and heal with you. Even though you're difficult, I will never give up on you. You've been driving me crazy. You've been driving me crazy, but I'm in love with your crazy. I'm in love with your crazy.
We're now playing Alex J. I'm in love with your crazy on the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com.
I'm in love with your crazy. I'm in love with your crazy. You assume and accuse, even when I'm right, I'm still gonna lose. Telling me to go when you don't want me to, and when I give you time, you cry boo. And you just blame it all in your cycle. That proved to me that you're psycho, and that you care about me. Maybe in the mouth I'm crazy, but I like it that way. Okay now, oh, I blame it on your past, just the last three. If it wasn't for them, you'll be happy with your 25 different personalities. I'm marry all of them, baby. I want all of them. You've been driving me crazy. You've been driving me crazy. You've been driving me so crazy. I'm in love with your crazy. You've been driving me crazy. You've been driving me
New music by Alex J here on the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com. I'm in love with your crazy.
So crazy, crazy, cry, baby, cry, baby, say, insane, say, oh, insane, so crazy, oh, crazy, oh, say, right now. Oh, yeah. I'm in love with your crazy.
Okay, that was song of the day I'm in Love with Your Crazy by Alex J. And so definitely let me know your thoughts on that song at the Diamond K Show, hashtag song of the day. And yeah, I'd like to get people's thoughts on that. Also, we have something else by him. Give me a second here. Now let's check out also, this is the same artist. Let's check out this video clip by Alex J.
You are my sun, you are my air, but you didn't know all the ways I love you now. So you took a chance and me other plans. I bet you didn't think that it would come crashing down. No, you don't have to say what you did. I already know. I found out from him, and there is no chance for you to be. There'll never be. Don't make you sad about it. You told me you loved me. Why would you leave me all alone? You say that you need me when you call.
Okay. That was another little acoustic thing by Alex J. And so I liked it. I thought that it was cool. It was cool. Let me know your thoughts on that song. And of course, as I said, song of the day, you can send me music at djdiamondk@gmail.com. Of course, I will be back here tomorrow for the program, 7 p.m. radioonfire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. This weekend, I'm going to be in the mix, 12 noon on Saturday and Sunday, 2 p.m. The We Live in Atlanta podcast is going to go down on Sunday, 5 p.m. His and Her show, 11 p.m. is going to be I Want Luscious TV. So, yeah, definitely. I'm going to be back, as I said, tomorrow or as news goes on. And let's hit a few comments here. And the plainest Jane, how are you doing? She says that I think we're moving too fast to jump back into sports right now. I agree. The plainest Jane, I agree with you 100%. It is not time to jump back into sports. Definitely not time to jump back in sports. And another comment get up here. Plains Jane is on YouTube. So shout out to the plainest Jane. Fred Carter says, man, stop it. That virus not doing much of anything. Shaking my head. Now, I'm going to assume that you are talking about this Trump virus, aka the COVID-19 coronavirus. What are you talking about, Fred? What is going on with you? What do you mean it's not doing much of anything? Just in this country alone, over 200,000 people have died. How is it not? The economy has been at a standstill, businesses closing, people out of work, kids are doing school at home, and you say that the virus isn't doing much of anything? What? Yeah. Fred, hit me up. My email address is djdiamondk. I need to have you on the show. We need to talk about this. How can you say that the virus is doing nothing? Like this is all a hoax? We're just making this up? Wow. Okay. If you say so, I definitely have to talk. I have to talk to him. And yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. As I said earlier, though, the We Live in Atlanta podcast with Truth Hurts and Jay Jackson, you can check that out on radioonfire.com/live on Saturdays, 2 p.m. And I Want Luscious TV, Sundays, 11 p.m. Check that out as well. For a song of the day, send music to djdiamondk@gmail.com. Getting to that. Also, support the program. Support what we do here on the show. You can support via Cash App at $DJ Diamond K. Of course, your donations help us continue to do what we do on the program, and that is to bring you independent news, progressive opinion on politics, social issues, entertainment, and much more. Until next time, if you see it, then you can be it. It is all about having vision. It's your man Diamond K, radioonfire.com, thediamondkshow.com, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow the program, however you're hearing this, Spotify, your favorite podcast network, YouTube. Just search The Diamond K Show. It has been real. I have enjoyed it as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow.